Jessica Deane with AIM Transportation Solutions, and I'm here today to talk to a new contract carriage customer for AIM, Goodwill of Heartland. I have their Vice President of Operations, Jessica Shamberger, on the line. Hi, Jessica. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Jessica. How are you?
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. So can we go ahead and talk a little bit about what it is that the Goodwill organization as a whole seeks to accomplish?
Sure. So there are quite a few Goodwill organizations. Our Goodwill of the Heartland operates in a 19-county territory in Southeast Iowa and Southwest Illinois. And our mission is to help people realize their potential through education, training, and the power of work. So we're best known for our retail stores because they've been around since 1902. And the concept that Edgar Helms, our founder, had was that you can help people best by offering a hand up rather than a handout. And he believed in gathering donated goods for repair and selling them in Goodwill stores and creating that opportunity for those who needed help to earn a paycheck. And we continue to do that to this day. Many of our store locations are also an opportunity for people to train and upskill so that they're ready for competitive employment outside of Goodwill. And on an annual basis, though the last 2 years haven't necessarily been typical with the pandemic, it is usually possible for us to place almost 700 people into jobs outside of our agency. So we're really excited to grow our business, but we need support from great partners like AIM in order to make that happen.
Wow, that's incredible. And I didn't realize that Goodwill provided all those different services. That's really interesting and definitely a very fun fact. So it sounds like running the operations for Goodwill of Heartland would be a huge undertaking. Can you tell me a little bit about what that's like?
Yeah, well, because we're a social enterprise, which means we run business lines to generate money for our mission and really help serve more people in our community. There can be some challenges that we have to overcome in the day-to-day. We have 17 retail stores that we operate in our territory. Each is in a unique community. We have got people in need throughout our territory. Some of those pockets are very rural in nature, so we're challenged to reach out to people virtually and to do things differently than we ever have before, in part because of the pandemic as well. But our biggest business line is our retail business. And I've already mentioned the history. It's been around for a long time. And we have in our Goodwill, we benefit from generous community donations on the level of almost 35 million pounds of donations collected last year alone. And as you can imagine, those materials need to move between our store locations and our warehouse. And we also need to get supplies for collecting donations and supplies for reselling items in our stores out to our stores. And so that's where we decided it would be best to focus on what we're good at, which is running retail operations and outsourcing what we didn't want to do anymore because we don't want to be good at it. And that is to manage a fleet. And we needed some help from a third-party logistics company, and that's what AIM's provided.
That's well, you definitely fit into the mold of our ideal customer because that's what AIM Integrated Logistics is all about. This is what we're good at. So let us, take this burden away from you, so then you can focus on your business, or in your case, your organization. And I cannot imagine just the behind the scenes that goes into moving those materials from one location to another at that kind of volume. So I'm very impressed by you being able to manage that. Quite the undertaking. So is this the first time that Goodwill of Heartland has ever outsourced its transportation operations, or have you guys ever worked with partners before?
We've worked with partners before, so this isn't the first time, but this is the first time we've worked with AIM.
Wonderful. We're so glad to have you. What was it that made you decide that AIM might be the right partner to try out?
Yeah, we're very careful about purchasing and outsourcing any product or service that we buy, and we have to go through a competitive bid process. And what really impressed us about AIM compared to other carriers is your experience. So you've had, experience with dedicated carriage or servicing for over 45 years, and you've got you've got 45 customers that you serve, and you've got 500 dedicated drivers, was our understanding. And that kind of experience really made us feel confident that you could take care of Goodwill. We also had a point of contact within your company, and that's Tom Rita. And we had done business with Tom through our previous carrier and just had a lot of confidence in him. He was a person of his word. He always followed through, and that meant something to us when we were looking to outsource to a different carrier. Your price was competitive. I thought that you really offered a competitive driver compensation plan, which is important to us, particularly in this labor market where we recognize that there's a driver shortage, and we want to be a partner in resolving that so we can remain fully staffed. And you also offered some great reporting and administrative services. So customizable key performance indicator reports, weekly invoicing, and then some truck tracking technologies. So we can see where our drivers were and are as they move between our warehouses and our stores. That kind of technology is it's a value add. And so all of those things really appeal to us about AIM.
Well, that's wonderful. That's definitely the things we work on being appealing at. So that's great to hear that those were valuable to you in your decision-making process.
Yeah.
So Jessica, once you guys got into the startup process, how did you find the flow of that went?
Oh, it was great. There were weekly meetings, and we were updated every step of the way in terms of the progress made to hire drivers, to have all of the equipment, like the new trucks, in hand so that we were ready by the launch date. And we had support from multiple departments within AIM as well, including those that are involved in the day-to-day and those that are involved in the invoicing process. And so I just felt confident that we were going to have an excellent startup, and we did. In fact, we were fully staffed, and AIM was able to launch the service ahead of schedule, which you couldn't ask for much better than that.
Wonderful. So since you've kind of gotten past the initial startup phase, have you seen any fall off with our performance?
No, not at all. We continue to have weekly meetings. Whenever we have a concern or a question, the follow-up is always quick, and the follow-through is something that we can rely on. I do feel that this is a partnership. So we are just as interested in helping Goodwill's business succeed as AIM is interested in helping Goodwill's business succeed. So I just couldn't be more impressed with the team right out of the gate. And post-launch, I think at this point, we've been working together for going on 3 months now.
Excellent. So the last question I'm going to ask you is, would you recommend AIM to other Goodwills or other retailers?
Yes, I would. And I feel pretty confident making that recommendation, even with just a few months under our belt. I just think you've done such a fabulous job of planning and executing on a new project. And I appreciate the responsiveness so early into the relationship to make sure everything is going well. And also adjusting to the ebbs and flows of Goodwill's business, donations. There are times of the year that are really, really busy for donations and other times that's slow. And AIM has really shown that they're very flexible at adapting to those business needs. So for those reasons, I would feel comfortable making a recommendation to other Goodwills.
Well, that's absolutely perfectly stated and exactly what we want to hear. And we do pride ourselves in being able to, increase capacity as needed and decrease as needed. So we're running as efficiently as possible for you. So I really am grateful for that recognition from you. So thank you. I just want to thank you again for being here and for your endorsement. We have so much appreciation for what Goodwill does as an organization, for your patronage, and just for your time here today. So thank you so much, Jessica. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you, Jessica. It was a pleasure.